We're in Mauritania. This is my 163rd country that I've been to. I cannot believe that I've been to so many countries, but I'm really excited for this one. Mauritania is a very unique country. It's unlike any other country in the world, really. I'm staying in the capital for this trip, and last night I got in via Royal Air Maroc at like 2 a.m. in the morning. The immigration line took forever, you guys. I hope it doesn't take that long if you guys are coming, but it took like probably an hour to get through immigration. You have to go online and get their e-visa first, and then once you get to the airport, they process your visa and they put a stamp in your passport. It's just a tiny little stamp too. I thought it was going to take up a full page, but it doesn't. It's just like this little round stamp in your passport. If you guys are having trouble with Mauritania's e-visa online, there is a little bit of a hack that I learned trying to go to the embassy to get my visa. If you guys are going to Dakar, Senegal, you can actually go to the Mauritania embassy and they won't process your visa there. They send you to a private company. It's like a girl that owns this little photo booth, probably 100 feet away from the Mauritania embassy. It's literally around the corner from the Mauritania embassy in Dakar, Senegal. But you can go over there and she charges $20 to submit your visa application and take a picture for you. And that's what we did. Some people have trouble with the online system and some people don't, but I've heard a lot of people actually have trouble uploading their picture when they go to submit their e-visa for Mauritania. So, anyways, if you guys are having trouble and you're in Dakar, Senegal, you happen to be in Dakar, Senegal, you can go to that embassy and then they'll point you in the right direction to the Photoshop. I guess it is a Photoshop, but it's like a photo, I don't know, it's like a little store that you can go to and the girl takes your photo and then gives you the e-visa. So that's the only way that we were able to get the e-visas from Mauritania and then get to the airport. I got to Urban Hotel. I booked at Urban Hotel, which the hotel itself is actually a great deal. It's $60 a night. And if you guys are familiar with West African prices, usually the hotels are like $100, $200, $300 a night, and they're just terrible hotels. This hotel is actually a really, really great price for the quality, and I'll give you guys a little room tour. But I got in the middle of the night. I had already paid online for the hotel, but the guy at the desk, the counter, told me that I hadn't paid yet. He calls the owner and it's like 4 a.m. It's the middle of the night. And then the owner says, "No, we don't take payments online. You didn't pay us online." And I'm like, "Yeah, I did. I have my credit card statement here. I have the transaction. It went through PayPal." I show the guy the PayPal transaction, go through this like whole long process. I'm like, I already paid. They make me pay again, and it's 4 a.m. in the morning. So what am I going to do? I'm not going to like, what am I going to do? What other option do I have? So they charged me twice. I had to call my bank, dispute the first charge, because the second charge had a taxi ride on it too. They charged me 30 euros to drive me from the airport, which I was fine with because the airport's like, it was a military base. It's an old military base. They didn't like build their own airport here. They just took one of the old military base airports and then turned it into their like public airport. So anyway, long story short, I paid for the taxi ride, got to the hotel. They charged me twice. Then I had to call my bank and dispute the charge. And I left them a review on Google Maps because that was annoying, 4 a.m. in the morning, and I'm being haggled. So that was annoying. And then this morning the owner messaged me on WhatsApp and was like, "Oh, sorry, you actually did pay already. We reversed the first charge." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, of course you did, because I already disputed it with my bank." This is probably the best deal for a hotel here in the capital of Mauritania. If you look at the reviews online, the more expensive hotels have really, really bad reviews. And I'm guessing that they're going to be similar to the other hotels that I've stayed in West Africa, where like you pay $250 a night and there's just like bugs and debris all over. The sheets have hair in it. It's just like it's one of those hotels. So this was actually a great buy, but you just have to be careful that they don't double charge you if you guys come here, because, if you just like took their word for it and you were like, "Oh yeah, I didn't pay yet," you would have just paid twice. So anyways, I'm going to show you guys my hotel, and it's raining really hard outside. I'm waiting for the rain to stop so that I can go outside and like kind of wander around a little bit. But, I also have a poncho. I could put my poncho on. I have like a see-through poncho that I could do and go walk outside, but, I might wait a little bit. I might just do it tomorrow too, because I'll have a driver tomorrow and they'll like drive me around. So that might be easier than walking outside in the rain. So this is the hotel room when you come inside. Again, like pretty clean for West African standards. It's really not that bad. There's AC inside this living area. They give you like a couple bottles of water, hot coffee maker, mini fridge. And then when you come in here, this is the bedroom. Again, it's not bad. You even have like this little vanity area over here, which I really like because I can do my makeup. The bed was super, super comfy. It's a great bed. This is the bathroom. It's a wet room. So when you turn the shower on, like everything gets wet. I mean, again, it's not like, it's not perfect, but no hotel is going to be perfect in Mauritania. You're not going to find like a Hilton or a Marriott here. So yeah, this is what it looks like. Oh yeah, and also hair dryer, which is great. So yeah, this is the hotel. It's really not that bad, especially not for the price. It's like 60 bucks a night. So really, really great buy. And yeah, I am going to try to go outside and kind of wander around. I'll show you guys what it looks like outside. I don't know if you guys can hear the rain or not. It's the wet season. And we are pretty close to, well, we're not super close to the equator. We're pretty north of the equator, but we're still kind of surrounding the equator. Oh. I'm here at the marketplace. I told the driver that I wanted to come buy a souvenir, but we're here in the wet season, the rainy season, and it's very hard to get through the street. There's just a lot of water and trash everywhere. I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to get over to the shops to buy a souvenir. I wanted to buy like a cup or something, but we'll keep looking around and maybe we'll find something. All right, I was unsuccessful in getting a cup or a souvenir. Marketplace is very, very, like, it's not really congested with people, but it's just, you like, right now I'm walking down the street, but I'm just dodging piles of garbage everywhere. Just lots and lots of trash everywhere, very disorganized, I guess you could say. So I'm gonna get headed back. And then I think we're going to the National Museum after this, and then we're going to the beach. That was the capital market that we were just at, and now I'm just waiting to go inside the museum, but we have to wait for them to open the doors. It's not, I guess it's not always open. You have to wait for somebody to come open it. They have a pretty big museum. It's 2 stories, has a lot of artifacts. I don't know the condition or the history of a lot of the artifacts. Sometimes museums will just purchase artifacts just so they have something on display. Usually things that aren't under glass are replicas. But this definitely looks original. I mean, look at that crack. That can't be a replica, right? But usually the real ones are under glass like this, and then they leave these ones out, but they might just not have a big enough glass container for these. I'm not sure why they would leave them out. This is some old pottery, or remaining fragments from pottery. The museum is only 50. I think that's about $1 or $2 USD. I think 1 USD is 35 right now. So you can kind of do the math. It's like $1.50 to come into the museum. You can come see all of the artifacts here. But you do, if it's closed, you might just need to look around and see if there's somebody around who can open it, because when we came, the door was closed, but then somebody came to open it. So don't give up if you come and the door is closed, is what I'm saying. It's kind of nice because now I'm like the only one in the museum. There's nobody else here. I haven't seen too many other tourists either, and the marketplace was definitely for locals. There was no tourist anything at the marketplace. The capital market is very, very traditional, very local, very authentic. Definitely was not for tourists at all. And I don't think the marketplace is going to have any tourism, tourism stuff, you could say, any kind of like souvenirs that you could buy. So I'm not really sure where I could go. Typically I buy a cup from each country with the name of the country on it. So I'm trying to find that still, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it here in Mauritania. Most people say Mauritania. Technically, if you're technically the pronunciation would be Mauritania if you're saying this as an English word, because you know, first vowel goes walking and the second one goes to sleep. But most people will say Mauritania, so you'll hear it called that more than the others. This is kind of interesting. Look at this. Look at the writing inscribed on it. That's like old Arabic writing they have. And the other thing to look out for is if you're coming to this museum, they have Arabic and they have French, but they don't have English. So if you're coming here, it's not so easy to figure out what everything is or the history behind everything, because they just don't have an English translation like on any other posters or on any of the cards. Here's some more pottery. These are some European items. You'll see the NATO right there. These are like some war medals, memorabilia. This is from Jordan. This might have been like a gift from Jordan to Mauritania. There's Petra. It's pretty cool. Or the bank. It's called the bank, that building, when you go to Petra. Looks like this is, where is this from? It's interesting. It looks like Germany. Maybe it's a gift from Germany, it looks like. Okay, let's go upstairs. Oh, look at that. Thanks for the museum, Japan. I've also heard kind of a mixture of opinions on Mauritania. So some people who have come here really, really love Mauritania. This is like one of their favorite countries. They love the adventure aspect of it. And it does feel very adventurous. You know, you see all the dunes and the sands and the desert, and it is very, very adventurous, but you need a little bit more time for Mauritania if you're gonna do the iron ore train. I forget what it's called, the Eye of something. You need a little bit more time for everything. Other people that I've spoken to do not like Mauritania at all. And they just say it's really, really hard to get around. The transportation is very difficult, which, especially if you're coming in the wet season when the roads are flooded, it is very difficult. I asked the driver if he could take me up to a national park that's just north of the capital, and he was like, my little car won't get there because of all the rain. Most of the roads aren't completely paved. So when it's the rainy season or the wet season, the roads just completely flood, and it's very, very difficult to get around anywhere in Mauritania. So it's just something to look out for. Probably not the best idea to come in the wet season, but if you're coming in the wet season, it's a lot less congested because people just aren't out and about. They don't want to be out in the rain or in the flooded roads. So it's a little bit easier to get around. So there's kind of pros and cons to both. A lot of people just say that there's also so much garbage, there's so much trash in the country that they don't enjoy visiting, which I can understand that aspect too, but that's how it is throughout all of West Africa. There's trash in every country, so that's just how it's going to be anywhere. If you come to West Africa, there's just loads of garbage, you know, throughout the streets and in the water, the drinking water, and you know, it's like that everywhere. So yeah, I've been to the rest of West Africa as well, with the exception of Togo. I'm just missing Togo. I don't know where I would rate Mauritania on the list of all the West African countries. I think it's actually a little bit better than some of the other West African countries. I'm trying to think, like Sierra Leone, for example, is kind of, it's pretty rough, and the beaches are pretty bad there. I don't know how their beaches are here. We're gonna go see in a minute, but yeah, it's not too bad. I think this one might be one of the cleaner countries in West Africa from what I've seen so far, and I haven't seen a lot, but that's just how I'm perceiving it so far. The museum is actually in pretty decent condition too. Like, this museum is actually really exceptional for West Africa, so not bad, really not bad at all. I think this might be for weddings. When somebody gets married, the bride goes on top of this. Oh, yeah, it is. I think that might be a bride, maybe a groom to the right. But they ride in the top of these. They put this on a camel and then the bride rides on top. And they do this throughout a lot of African countries and even into the Middle East. Like Eritrea, Ethiopia does this. Saudi Arabia, they put one of these on a camel and the bride rides through the streets on the camel. Here's like a display model. So this would be on the camel. That would be the person inside. And then you can see there's kind of like a little covering. There's some old guns. And of course, Mauritania, it was colonized by the French, and before the French, the Portuguese were here. So when you come here, you'll see a lot of Portuguese and French restaurants. There's been a lot of cultural influence from both of those European countries on Mauritania. Even this morning, I had a croissant. I was like, okay. You can definitely tell that you're in a post-French colony when they have the croissants for breakfast. That was kind of unsurprising, I guess you could say. Ooh. These have not been very well taxidermied or maintained. There's like some holes out of them. I mean, it's kind of interesting to come see that, this is the reptiles or the wildlife here in Mauritania, but I think they could be in a little bit better condition than this. It's a little bit gross, a little bit gruesome to see that. Okay. This is just some of their, it looks like herbs. There's lotus. Looks like some of the vegetation or the plants. I think this museum is almost done. But yeah, it's a good museum. This was interesting, and it's kind of nice because when you come, you're the only one in here. As long as you can figure out how to get it open, as long as somebody can come open it for you, it's good. And I think that's about it. I think we saw almost everything. Oh my Lord, I didn't look at this. Oh, gross. This is a crocodile skin. Yeah, they have crocodiles here too. That was one of the things that I wanted to go see in the national park, but I don't know, the driver said that he couldn't make it there in time, and then he said he had a friend that could take me there, but it would take, again, it takes a couple days to get there from the capital, so it's not a day trip. You need like 1 or 2 days, and unfortunately I just don't have the time for it. Oh, this is kind of sad. Oh, this giant sea turtle shell. This is illegal in a lot of Western countries. You can't kill the sea turtles just to get the shells. Think about how many years old this sea turtle was. It's pretty sad. Oh, also, this is their traditional dress. I'm trying not to take videos or pictures of the locals because they get really, really angry here. The locals do not like it if you take pictures of them, but this is what their traditional clothing looks like. It's very unique. It's unlike any other African, any other, Islamic country. They have their own clothing. It's special just to Mauritania. The driver took me to some kind of hotel and restaurant, but the only problem is there's a fence. Oh, I think I can maybe get around the fence to get to the beach. Let's see here. This is kind of a nice area though, because they have like drinks, and they even have a playground here. If you had kids, you could bring them to go on the playground. So kind of a cool area. Alright, this is a really nice beach. We're just here enjoying the water, and it's not raining today, so it's actually really nice out. If you look all the way down to, there are some boats where some fishermen are fishing all the way down there, if you can see it. There's another part of the beach where you can see tons and tons and tons of fishing boats. They're just lined up one by one. But I think you have to go a little bit further down the beach, and this is really more of a touristy area. This is a touristy part of the beach, I should say. So yeah, this is really nice. I think I'm gonna grab like a drink or a coffee, and then get headed back to the hotel. More. All right, you guys, I even got an iced latte. I'm walking to a place called an ice cream. It's like a little ice cream store. It's only about 15 minutes from my hotel. And the only downside about walking here in Mauritania is that one, it's really, really dusty. We're in the desert, of course. And two, all of the cars have taken out the catalytic converters. So you smell these fumes coming from all of the vehicles when you're walking down. In the 1970s, the US, for example, made a law where you have to have that converter in your car. But here in Africa, people take them out of the cars and sell them, or they get stolen. So the smell from the road and the fuel, the diesel, and then the dust all combined, it's not very pleasant. Oh, you guys, I walked all the way down here and they're closed. It says online that they're open until 1:30 a.m. I knew it was a lie. Okay, so that's closed. I'm gonna have to find another place to go try. Darn it. Sometimes when you're walking along the road, you look down and you see all of these seashells that have come up from the shores of the beaches. Mauritania has a very special bread. The flour is very high in gluten, so it kind of has like a little bit of a crunch when you eat it. But the outside is not as crusty. It's baked in a really, really hot oven, but it's a little bit more soft. It's really, really good. I like the bread here, but it is kind of crunchy. Like you'll be chewing it and you'll get like a little crunch from the gluten. And this is tagine with chicken. Morocco has tagine, and so does Mauritania. They both also have a couscous dish, so I might try couscous tomorrow. This looks really good. That dinner was pretty good. Now we're headed back to the hotel. Look at all this trash and water. All the streets are like this. It's just piles of garbage everywhere and water from the wet season. They don't have a drainage system, so all the water, it just collects, turns into a big mud hole. But it's a little bit better because there's more sand here, so it's not as muddy as some of the other places. More trash, more mud. The whole time you're walking down the streets, you're just dodging mud and garbage everywhere. And again, not many of the streets are actually paved. Lots and lots of mud everywhere, lots of water. You wouldn't even believe this, you guys. It's 11:41. The checkout time is at 12, and I just had this hotel come knock on my door and tell me that I had to leave. I was supposed to have late checkout at 4 p.m. They told me that I could pay for half a day yesterday. Today, they've changed their minds, and a lady came up and told me, oh no, you have to leave. You have to check out at 12. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I paid for half a day. I'm going to check out at 4 p.m. This is after they double charged me for the hotel room, you guys. This is maybe one of the worst managed hotels I've ever been to. This is like such a nightmare. Not surprised though. I'm honestly not surprised because this is kind of how, again, this is how West Africa is. Like, this is how people treat you. This is how people act. This is just how it is. So yeah, I'm going to go to the airport and I guess sit at the airport for 7 hours because I don't know what else to do. All right, here I am at the airport 7 hours early. This has been a pretty miserable day, you guys. I just got through security. I was outside waiting for literally 3 hours and I had to take a phone call for work too. So I was outside on the phone. I had to like go through that. And then once I got into the airport, there was barely anywhere to sit. I was one of the first people to come inside. So thankfully I had a seat. But every single person that sat down beside me, they just like reeked of BO, you guys. And then it smelled like cigarettes in the airport. So the whole time I've been like covering my face with my shirt, like trying not to smell BO and cigarettes. It's just been really, really miserable. I'm really, really excited to get out of here. My next stop is Istanbul, Turkey, which is honestly not going to be any much better. But I have a day layover in Istanbul, Turkey. I've already been to Turkey. I went back in 2019 and I went for like 2 weeks with my dad. But after Istanbul, Turkey, we're going to Juba, South Sudan. So, yeah, I'm kind of nervous, kind of excited. I'm going to be going with my friend Danny. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.